Boils and ghouls, lock your doors and strap yourselves in. From Los Angeles, California, Bloody Disgusting presents the Boo Crew Podcast. Horror news, commentary, reviews, interviews, and more. With your hosts, Lauren and Trevor Shand and Leone D'Antonio.
Go ahead, scream. That's all we need.
Another victim crawls onto the gurney for a Boo Crew autopsy.
Joining the Boo Crew via the Speakeasy Studio is a true legend. With close to 400 film and TV projects, he is one of the most recognizable actors and voice actors of all time. Movies like Desperado, From Dusk Till Dawn, Heat, Con Air, Spy Kids, The Devil's Rejects, Halloween. TV series so diverse it's unbelievable. From The Young and the Restless and Elena of Avalor to Sons of Anarchy and Breaking Bad and everything in between. In 2016, he went into the restaurant business and brought some of the most talked about tastes to Los Angeles and became even further ingrained into the mystique and magic of this wonderful city, as well as people's hearts and stomachs, with Trejo's Tacos and Trejo's Coffee and Donuts. Even the late Anthony Bourdain was a fan. His story goes even deeper than that, with the youth spent in and out of jail for 11 years at the most notorious prisons in the world, like San Quentin and Folsom. He has used his journey to inspire and help others. He is not only your favorite badass from your favorite film or on that Machete poster on your wall. His name and face have become a symbol of salvation and a representation of the strength of goodness of love. He is the subject of a fabulous new documentary that takes you on that journey. No matter what's going on in your life, you've got something to take away from this film that will change you forever. It's called Inmate #1, The Rise of Danny Trejo, and it's available on digital July 7th. We are honored to welcome Mr. Danny Trejo.
What's up? How you doing? God bless. How you doing?
We're doing great, man, and thank you so much for spending time with us today. We are huge fans of all your work. Even the person who does the voiceovers for our show is the guy who does all the Machete trailers.
Awesome.
Now, seeing that trailer for a movie that didn't yet exist in 2007's Grindhouse, that thing lit the theater on fire. Now, that movie was an event, and the trailer was even a bigger event. How was that Machete idea presented to you from Robert Rodriguez, and did you think it would turn into this?
When we were doing Desperado, Robert saw that I was out in the crowd. We were working in Acuña, Mexico, and so all the Mexicans would get around me and be asking me for my autograph and stuff. And Robert said, "Hey, they think you're the star of this movie." I said, "You mean I'm not? What are you talking about?" But I was signing autographs and taking pictures, and he says, I got this character I want you to think about, Machete, this guy that fights with machetes, and that's all I needed." Yeah, I'm in. And we did that. Then we did Spy Kids, and we said, "Hey, let's call this guy Uncle Machete." And so then we did that. Then when they did Grindhouse, they needed some fake trailers. So Robert said, "I got one." So he did that. We did that fake trailer, and when we came out of the theater, everybody was, "Hey, we got to make that movie. You got to make it." That's how it actually started. So it started 20 years ago, and when it came out, it was just iconic. It was crazy, And I loved watching little kids come up for Halloween dressed as Machete, And that was so cool.
That's awesome. And I know everyone asks, is Machete going to end up taking that journey into space that we're promised in Machete Kill?
I think Robert started doing American movies. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, but I don't know. We're waiting on him. That would be a killer.
It'll be amazing. Leonardo DiCaprio and robot Justin Bieber. Come on, man.
So Machete has the coolest toys, like the Swiss Army Machete, the cell phone Machete. Sofia Vergara has her double D cannon. Have you kept any momentums from your films, like the iconic vest or the throwing knives from Desperado or anything like that?
You know what? I would have loved that movie even if I wasn't in it, because me and Jessica Alba killed 4 people in the first 2 minutes. And then I got to kiss Jessica Alba 8 times, and so it was like nobody can make fun of me ever. I kissed Jessica Alba. Danny, have you ever been the leading man? Shut up! I kissed Jessica Alba.
So, but did you keep any of that stuff, like your vest or anything, and maybe put them on the
Just
walls?
the memory of her
Treehouse?
kiss.
That was it. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
She was so awesome. She was great, and she's fun to. She was great sense of humor. And I've worked with some. I have worked with some great actors, like Michelle Rodriguez, Jessica Alba, Sofia Vergara, Lady Gaga. And Lady Gaga was awesome. I didn't. I thought because most singers have they're kind of like the star of everything they do, and
Sure.
She was awesome. She's definitely a team player, and I got her pots and pans because she cooks her own food, so when they bought her some pots and pans for her trailer, and then when it was over, I said, "Hey, Gaga, what are you gonna do with your pots and pans?" She said, "Well, leave them." So I took them, so I got them all. Lady Gaga's pots and pans.
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
That's so cool. And I had some friends. She was having a concert in Seattle, and it was sold out. And I had some friends in Seattle that called me and said, "Do you know Lady?" So I called her. She answered the phone.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, I got these couple of friends. She had them backstage with her. I was just like, she was just so beautiful, man. They said, "Man, we felt like movie stars."
Oh, that's so awesome to hear, man. I love a story like that. Leo, you had a question, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of killing, the people at Buzz Bingo have tallied up the kill count over the years, and you now have the record. You have surpassed Christopher Lee as the most killed actor on screen.
Right on. What all that means is I've been working quite a bit.
Hey, Danny, one of our favorite horror films of all time is From Dusk Till Dawn, and you continue to be in the sequels and the TV series. Your character was the best, too, and you got to turn into a vampire and hang out with Selma Hayek, and you died the coolest death ever. What are your memories of that?
It was, From Dusk to Dawn was just so unbelievable. And, I read the script and I read it's a gangster movie, right? And then, wait a minute, and God, I was the best vampire. And my daughter took a picture of me as a vampire to school and said, "Here's a picture of my daddy." And this is, "And here's my daddy when he gets mad." And she had to hide that picture of a vampire. So when I went to pick her up, all the kids were like staring at me, "Don't make him mad. Don't make him mad."
Were you much of a horror movie fan growing up at all?
Are you kidding? I love it. I love it.
Yeah? What are some of your favorites that you remember?
Best thing in the world is first date. Take them to see a horror movie because they will want to hold on to you. except for I took a girl named Joanne to see a movie called The Omen, and I wanted to hold on to her. I was the scariest thing. You're a wuss.
Now you've worked
been called a wuss. You're a wuss. Shut up, it's scary.
You've worked with Rob Zombie on a few of his films as well. When did you guys first meet, and what kind of energy does he bring, man?
I first met Rob on a film called Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was so much fun. It was like unbelievable. And Rob is just a sweetheart. You know what I mean? And then he was doing another one called Halloween, and we were doing a premiere to Desert Rejects, and somebody said, "Hey, are you going to be in Rob's next movie?" And I thought, "Whoa!" He said, "Well, he's doing Halloween." Rob, because he was over on this other. "Hey, I better be in your next movie." He goes,
You had your death in Halloween was very emotional. That was a sad moment, man.
That was, yeah. You know what? I tell you a story. At first, they didn't kill me. At first, I was just a character that disappeared. And then when the bigwigs watched the movie, they said, "You know what? We got to kill Trejo.
Oh,
It doesn't because it gives him a redeeming part. So
Right.
I was in New York. Rob calls me and says, Trejo, I got good news and bad news. I said, what's the bad news? He goes, well, we got to kill you again. I said, I know what the bad news for you is the good news is I get paid again. He said, so they had to bring me back and kill me. Boy, did he kill me.
Yes, they did. They did. Yeah, it's a drowning in the toilet. So
Drowning, everything.
throughout all your films, your personal past was always kind of an urban legend to the audience. Danny Trejo is this iconic bad guy, but no, did you really know you spent time in maximum security lockdown for real? And you've been a drug counselor and a public speaker on your experiences for a long time now, but why was now the time to take it a step further and actually turn this into and tell your story in a film?
Well, I think it's like, what I like about this is that it gives a lot of hope. Like we talk to juvenile hall and we talk to penitentiaries, and a lot of times juvie, youth authority, kids start losing hope. They start thinking this is it, this is where I'm going to be. And especially when they've seen most of their neighborhood go into prison. So I think what we tried to do with this is just give hope to youngsters, give hope to them guys in prison. My little cousin, Gilbert, he went to the joint when he was 17, got out when he was 55. And, and he did like 28 years, I think, or 38 years. And we were trying to say, wait a minute, we got to. So I think that's what we were trying to do, is just give some hope. And my life, that's what my life's all about. My life is about being redeemed, and I think I showed that. And I think it doesn't matter where you start, it matters where you end. And
well said. Well said. Leo, you had a question.
Yeah, this documentary on your life story, man, it's such an amazing story. Are there any plans to have this screened on an ongoing basis for troubled youth in juvenile hall or prison systems as a deterrent and a source of inspiration for them to turn their lives around?
That's kind of what we're doing. We'll make a deal with the Department of Corrections and the juvenile hall authorities, and we'll have it in juvenile hall and in youth authorities so that they can watch it, so that they can see that redeeming. Wait a minute, we can be, we can get out of this mess if we want.
Yeah. What was the experience like of going back into those jails and talking to people from your past and reliving all these moments?
I think the difference is when I go into prisons as an actor, I'm a character. There's a shield. But when I go in as myself, it's kind of like you can really feel the tension, and you can really taste the anxiety of the whole thing. It's like prison is the most tension you'll ever feel in your life. You can almost taste it. Tastes like an old penny, but you and you can't shake it. You either a predator or prey. That's it. That's all there is to it.
So we're out here in Burbank, and we couldn't help but notice that in the film you actually mentioned that you used to rob Bob's Big Boy and Patty's out here on Riverside.
Yeah.
Those are like 24-hour diners. I gotta hear about how you.
I robbed some of my uncle. Wow. My uncle robbed it too, back in '62, and it was funny because when I was doing Heat, we shot a little in Bob's Big Boy, and there was one of the security guards are usually the retired police officers. And he was sitting there going, Trejo, didn't, what? Yes, even though my uncle robbed it. I didn't say my uncle robbed it. Oh, okay. I remember, it was like amazing. And, it's funny. I used to rob restaurants, and now I got 8. I got 8.
Right.
If anybody robs me, it's karma, you know. But I gotta tell you, during this pandemic, when they were busting up stores and stuff, they busted up everything around Selma and Cahuenga, where my restaurant is. They didn't touch my restaurant, so it was pretty lucky. And then the one on La Brea, they bombed a whole bunch of stuff on La Brea, but they didn't touch the restaurant, so that was cool.
Yeah, no one's going to mess with Machete, man. There's a lot of people we hear from in the film, like your incredible kids, your publicist, Gloria, and the head of security, Greg Balcom. What's his story? He reveals he spent some time in the prison system as well. How did you guys end up meeting?
I ran into him just, but we were, he stayed pretty close to us for a while. He's off doing other stuff now, but he stayed pretty close to us as far as like working and stuff. And he was kind of an iconic guy himself.
What was the scariest thing that you've ever had to witness as an inmate?
People dying.
Yeah.
I mean, San Quentin, for a while, there was 2 killings a week. It was like when you pin people up, it's so weird. People think that prison is like this place where everybody walks around being tough and pushing. You don't. If you're in a room full of killers, the last thing you want to do is piss somebody off. So it's actually very respectful. That's what people demand. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And because you never know who you're staring at.
Yeah. Wow. Leo, you had a question.
Yeah, I was wondering, you made a movie with your son Gilbert, who not only directed it, but stars in it with you, titled From a Son. When can we expect to see this film?
I'm not sure. I know he was waiting for this pandemic to finish and stuff, but that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done, and my son was the director, and he would tell me, I used to put you on timeout. Are you crazy? But I had to realize that he's a director. That means he gets the same respect as Michael Mann, as Robert Rodriguez, as any of the other directors I worked with. And when we did that, it came out really well. The movie, I cry in this, and I've never cried in a movie. I wasn't much of a crier anyway, but because I was taught, men don't cry and all that crap. And he kind of softened me up talking about what he did when he was a kid and how cute he was. And we talked then. So when it came time for this scene, I just lost it. I wanted to cry like John Wayne. All right, I lost it. I couldn't stop, and I walked away and tried to, but the whole crew was crying, and I walked away to Gilbert. Hey, nice acting, Dad. I also started a record label. I started a record label called Trejo's Music. We got some great artists on that. And my singer, Tara New, right now, she just her and Baby Bash got a record out called Satisfy My Soul that is awesome. And so that'll be on Cruise with Cruise.
That's right. Yeah, I saw the video. Actually, I saw the video a couple days ago. It's awesome. It came out back in April, man. Congratulations on that, dude.
And then,
amazing.
And then I have a little fighter that I started working with. Her name is Denise Estrada, and she won the WBC and the WBA World Championship. It's 108 pounds.
Wow. Oh nice. My gosh, you got lots of stuff going on, man. It's amazing. Awesome, Danny. Thank you so much, man. That's great.
Thank you.
What an honor, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the film.
Yes.